Hi everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on wherever you are. My name is Abisola Famuyiwa, True Ambassador, Event Coordinator, and Personal Assistant to the CEO. So today we have Shane with us and Doris Okuneye. So Shane, how are you
Hi.
today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Thank you
a
for
little cold
coming.
outside, but I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you for coming to the show.
Thanks for inviting
Hi,
me.
Mom. You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Good evening to everyone, and we're happy to be in this show. This is our second day in the studio, and we're here today. Just is a talk show, so we're just going to talk about the important things to us and also to the viewers. I hope you gain from what we are going to speak today. Thank you.
Yeah. So Shane is a nutritionist, so I'm just going to give him the mic so he can introduce himself and talk about himself better. So Shane, over to you.
Hi, yeah, so I have a wellness and nutrition business, and just looking to improve people's health in regards to their quality of existence and lowering the medications that they take, and that's just basically the main thing that I do at the minute. And it just formulated from me myself having to take a few pharmaceuticals and then wanting to better myself. Yeah.
That's good. So what motivated you to be a nutritionist?
No, so I'm not actual a nutritionist by title, but I work with nutrition and well-being, so more of a nutrition coach. And what motivated me was to basically want to make a change in my own well-being at first, because I, as I was saying, I used to take a lot. I used to be in and out of hospitals, and realizing that the only way for me to improve was to be come from a different standpoint, like see things differently, taking, even when it comes to mindset. Like, I used to have a big victim mentality and think, why me? Why am I in this pain? Why am I doing this and whatnot? And having a conversation with the doctors, realizing that I had to, I had to basically make the change myself. I was asking them, when can I lower this medication? When can I come off of it? They were like, it's likely that you're having to up it. You're having to increase it. So I started studying the endothelial cells. I took science and nutrition courses, just seeing how the body breaks down food and the metabolism, and started with myself first and foremost as a kind of guinea pig, realizing that I had to make certain changes to my food, and then I'll monitor it and I'll write it down, and I'll be like, okay, cool, this is what's making me feel like this, or this is what's making me have more energy, the things that I'm eating. So I'll mark down everything, what I was eating, drinking, even watching, like what I was consuming mentally, because at the end of the day, there's diet, but there's also the mental diet, what you're looking at, what you're listening to, the gossip you're having with people and conversations. So yeah, that's kind of where it formulated, and people saw the huge difference. So they started to come to me, and I was helping them, for free. A lot of it was coming out of my pocket, so it came a bit costly. So that's when I then formulated it into a business.
Wow.
And then people started coming to me and seeing the difference, and they wanted to be in a similar position, where they didn't have to take so much pharmaceuticals and have a better quality of existence.
Yeah. So it all started from you.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, me wanting to make a change, because it was, imagine having to take painkillers so often and you're always tired and drowsy.
Yeah.
But then I realized that a lot of the issues I was causing myself, which I wasn't told through the NHS or whatever it was, I wasn't told that what I'm eating, what I'm drinking, these are the things that's causing the issues of what I was born with, which is sickle cell. Yeah.
Oh, you were born with sickle cell?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and that was why I was having to go back and forth to the hospitals, and not really able to hold things down steadily, because you can be well 2 days and then the next day you're not. But a lot of it has got to do with what we will call blood viscosity, which I'll be touching on later on in the podcast. Yeah.
It's all right. So why have you come today?
So I've come today, being a part of. So I met Doris, and she introduced me to True Ambassadors and the amazing work that they've been doing, and just seeing how she actually helps the community. And I did want to be a part of it also, because I feel like that's what life's about, just helping people who might not be in the most fortunate situation, or if they're the elderly, And I'm sure Doris can tell you a bit more about the work that True Ambassadors are doing.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you, Shane, for
No
giving
worries.
me the opportunity to talk with you about what True Ambassador is doing. Before I actually start with what True Ambassador is doing, I would like to kind of introduce or say a little bit about the history of True Ambassadors, how it started, how this whole charity of a thing come into existence. It's all about me finding myself of what I'm made to do or what I should be doing. But finding myself is all about me going to camp, talking to God in a special way, because after going through a lot in life, a lot of challenges, it came to a point I just asked myself, what do I need more in life? To have to kind of travel all the way to Africa, Nigeria, go to camp, which is called Okugwe camp, with my friends and met with different men of God with prayers, and I came back. Since I came back 6 years ago, it has really been it's just like something is just moving me, and having Shen at this platform today is one of the vision of True Ambassadors, to give people voice, not just to support the elderly in the community, to make um, everyone be able to have a voice to express themselves, to look deep into what they really want in life. Because if you don't bring things out of you, is really difficult. You don't need to copy people. When you look deep in yourself, you will be able to understand what actually you can do, how you can contribute to the community. Having you here telling us about the history of how you start your nutrition business, this is the kind of thing we really are standing for. We are encouraging people, know who you are and know how to find yourself, because life is full of dynamics. Life is so dynamic that there's a lot of opportunities, but if you don't know yourself, you just lost.
True.
Yeah.
Very, very true.
So
Mhm.
I think I have to stop here.
Very well
We have to
spoken.
go to the
Thank you.
next
Thank you for
section.
that. So, people, especially the elderly, how do you think they can manage their nutrition, or how do you think they can prevent some things like chronic condition, diabetes, hypertension, or high cholesterol?
Yeah, so when it comes to those kind of things, elderly, the young, even the teenagers and kids, a big aspect of when you're looking at cholesterol, pre-diabetes, and a lot of these issues surround inflammation. So you really want to tackle the issue of the inflammation. So how do you tackle that? A lot of the things that we do look at are your nutrition, what you're taking in, and for instance, something which is called trans fats. So trans fats is a lot of what the supermarkets sell, a lot of what these shops sell off licenses, and it's foods that have really long shelf life. So they're basically with vegetable oils, and then it's how they're mixed with hydrogen, and it gives it a longer shelf life, and these kind of things that we do to food when it breaks down in the body, it can then cause a reaction of the high blood pressures, the diabetes, and insulin resistance. So when I'm talking about trans fats, that's a numerous amount of things. So you're talking about like M&Ms, you're talking about crisps, you're talking about pizzas, hot dogs, croissants.
Basic things that everybody eats
Yeah,
today.
exactly. A lot of pastries, and you really want to know what the ingredients are and how they put these things together, because the more ingredients that's in these food, and especially these ones that you might find hard to even read and pronounce, those things, when they break down in the body, it's a similar way. The body doesn't really know how to deal with it,
Yeah.
and when it doesn't know how to deal with it, it'll break it down and cause something called free radicals. Free radicals are within our bodies that, they're cells that can mutate into other things. So trans fats can cause free radicals. They can cause oxidative stress. They cause problems with cholesterol, especially LDL, which is a big issue. And it's really something that should be looked at, because it's in so many foods, and then you're looking at the processed sugars, the overabundance of meats and processed meats, and I'm not saying there's a one diet fits all, but when you already have issues of inflammation, which lead to a numerous amount of things, inflammation affects sickle cell, lupus, autoimmune illnesses, diabetes, cholesterol, so many things, even when it comes to the mindset, you really want to look at your balance, and one of the balances are omega-6 to omega-3 ratio also. So you want to look at the oils you're using. You know, some good oils are hemp seed, flaxseed oils. But a lot of the oils that we do use and a lot of the foods we consume are really high in omega-6, which is a pro-inflammatory, so that is goes towards inflammation. However, and I don't want to demonize inflammation, because inflammation isn't the main issue. There's an underlying issue within us that's causing our body to produce a big amount of inflammation. So you have to kind of look at what the issue is. And then, because inflammation, at the end of the day, it's what your body's warning system. Okay, there's something wrong here. Let me build up some inflammation, and inflammation is a form of defense for our bodies. But when you have too much inflammation, then you start to get things like autoimmune illnesses and other things that, will cause numerous amount of problems down the line.
So what you're saying is inflammation is not something that is bad. Too much of it causes the problem.
Exactly that. Yeah.
And in summary, watch what you eat.
Indeed.
And things are going to be
watch
better.
what you eat. Incorporate exercise. Because exercise is really good for the energy production and what they might call it's a science term which is ATP. So it's like energy production, and it's linked to like mitochondria. And so if you're doing exercise, it's really good for the lymphatic system, which is your body's ability to detox and strain things out of the system that shouldn't be there. Yeah, so exercise, the food you eat, fasting in certain ways. Obviously, I'm not saying everyone should fast. If you're suffering from something that's quite crucial and you're taking a lot of medication, then there are certain aspects that you might have to mold around that to then be your best self.
That's good. Thank you so much for that.
No worries.
So do you think adults or people in general, do they need dietary supplements, or they can get everything from food?
Okay, so that's a big problem now, because, you'll see in comment sections, there's nothing wrong with this. Like, let's say, for instance, if you see a post and someone's demonizing a certain specific food group, and then you'll see someone respond to it saying there's nothing wrong with this. Our ancestors used to eat this abundantly.
They say that a lot.
Exactly, but realistically, when you look at it, many things have changed since then. The air quality, the soil quality, which is a big thing, because that's where their food's getting the nutrients from. Animals which we are fed, they're fed an abundance of antibiotics and all of these things that are basically to prolong their life just so we can eat more.
Yeah.
And when you're using these things to prolong their life, you're also causing their bodies to go through a certain amount of stress, which when we consume these things, we're consuming all of that which is built up in the animal. So when it comes to eating, especially if you have like a certain dietary thing that you want to go by, like for instance, I no longer consume chicken, meat. I'm pescatarian at the minute, and once coming off of certain food, you have to know where you're going to get your replacement from. So for instance, if you're a vegan, B12 is something that you really should look at how you're going to be consuming that. Now, the B12, I'm not saying it's going to come from the animals that you're consuming, like it's made in the animals. No, the animals are eating the soil, then the B12 is in their flesh, and then you eat the animals and then you get some of the B12. But when you're eating certain things and you're taking certain food groups out, you need to know what you're going to replace it with, because then you can lead yourself down a path that makes you even more ill if you don't replace these kind of things. So, if you're lacking in certain things, calcium, magnesium, manganese, whatever, you can supplement with certain foods. Like I like to supplement with something called sea moss, because it's abundant in certain minerals that our bodies need. I supplement with collagen sometimes, and I mix that with pine pollen. It's kind of something that you have to detail it and think, okay, cool, what am I lacking in? And then, one thing that really helps is getting blood work done to see what you're lacking in instead of just guessing. And then you can go down that path.
Yeah, so you have to balance it out.
Yeah, definitely.
You're taking out something, you have to replace it with something.
Indeed.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
So is there any group that you're working with at the moment?
So in terms of groups, there are a few charities that I'm working with. The newest one is True Ambassadors, who are doing, certain work that I'm seeing, you know, that you lot are posting, and the happiness that you're bringing to people who are involved in the group and the community, just seeing the smiles on their faces is really something quite special. And I'm not quite sure how that came about, you know, is it something that just you had in your heart that you wanted to help people, or?
Yeah, well, what actually happened? Because it's all about calling.
Mm-hmm.
When you know your calling and you're determined, you're resilient, and you put your whole heart in such events. You know, some people they just say, "Oh, it's charity. I'm just doing it as a charity. I'm here to support them." But if you're doing it from your heart and you're putting yourself in that position that this is how you want to be addressed, this is
Mm-hmm.
how you want to be looked after, and it's just a joy within because a charity, the says charity begins at home,
Yeah.
Indeed.
and it begins from what you have inside and
Yes.
what God just want to pour in you. Just I keep telling people it's a calling. I wasn't really ready for all this drama, but it just started, and
Mhm.
just putting my own head into it from vision, from prayers, I begin to see, and that joy just keep going. And I think that's just all.
That's amazing,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. So it's all about your faith.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you're doing, you have to put your faith first. You have to put God first.
Yes, indeed.
And when you put God first, He will direct you.
Yeah.
I
that-
truly believe in that,
So
you
that
know.
is why, even me, every Tuesday when I see the way people come sad, the joy in their face when they are going, they all,
Yes.
and it really makes amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Those little things just make the difference
Yes,
in the community because
indeed.
you're just coming to support people. You're not coming to say, I'm doing this, or how much are they going to pay me?
Mhm.
What's going to be my salary? How much is this going to cost?
Mm-hmm.
But when you put that out of it, just do what God wants you to do.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
will always have a better result.
Mm-hmm. I truly believe in that as well. So I
Amazing.
just wanted to touch on it. So it's just like, even when you do things from the kindness of your heart, you get back tenfold,
Yeah.
even though you're not expecting it.
Mhm.
You know, it's like you're helping people, and then you'll just randomly see people coming around to help you.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing thing, you know. Our Creator put this within us to, you know, and even when I talk about the victim mentality, how I was able to get out from that is getting closer to my Creator,
Yeah.
you know, and realizing that I have a huge amount of value in me from my Creator, from my source, you know, so no one can kind of take that from me, and so does everyone, you know. Yeah,
It's okay.
powerful.
That's good. So is there any other group that you work with?
Yeah, so there's another group that I am working with called IFM. So I Found Me. They do charity within East London, Hackney, and you know, they do some good work as well in terms of feeding the homeless and educating the youngsters as well. So I was doing like a mentorship program with them, helping some of the youngsters who are you know, just coming out of school, some of them who are still in school, and some of them who are looking to have certain you know, go down certain routes of wanting to work in certain areas, like be a pilot or mechanic or this and that, but just finding confidence within themselves. So I ran a few classes there, and it's amazing because, you know, you go into that thinking, okay, cool, this is what I'm gonna help to teach the youngsters, but being around them and amongst them, you end up learning so much from them.
That's true.
You
And
learn so much. But because from the journey of my charity, I've learned so much.
Mhm.
It has been a very tough journey, but I've learned so much. So
Mhm.
you learn every day.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
It's powerful.